Hello. Welcome to our next chapter, that is your duty drawback. So duty drawback means you have paid some duty, and in certain cases the department will pay you back duty. Okay. So first of all is your section 74.1. Now what does 74.1 say? 74.1 talks about export as such. Export as such, that means you imported goods. You cleared them for home consumption. You paid the duty also, and now you are exporting it as such. That means without making any modification, without making any changes to the good that you had imported, you are exporting it as such. In such a case, that means without making any modifications, then in such a case you will come under section 74.1. So now you have already paid the duty. You had already paid the duty when you had imported. Now when you are exporting it, you will say that, boss, since I'm exporting it, I want my duty back. Since these goods were never consumed in the home, I want the duty back on the goods. So the government says, okay, we will give you the duty back, but we will not give you 100%. So if the imported goods are easily identifiable, are exported, that means these goods were imported and now we are exporting, 98% of the import duty will be refunded, not 100%, but 98%, because 2% they are subtracting for their administrative cost. This whatever you are doing, this consumes time. Okay. So therefore 98% will be refunded if goods are identified by ACDC as same goods which were imported. That means that these goods that you are exporting, these are the same goods that you had imported, only then will we allow you, and we will pay back 98% of the duty. And second, goods are exported within 2 years from the date of payment of import duty. What you have to remember, it is not the date of import, it is from the date of payment of import duty. Okay, because it is possible that you might have kept these goods for some time in the warehouse and later you must have cleared for home consumption. That is when you paid. So it is 2 years from the date of payment of your import duty. Now exported means your shipping bill and let export order has been received. That is the date that we will consider. Okay. So this will be your 74.1. That is as it is without doing anything. These goods you had imported, you paid custom duty, and now you are exporting. So you will get refund of custom duty. They will remit it back to you. That is 98%. 74.2 talks about export after using the imported good. That means you imported the goods, use them for some time, and then you are exporting it back. So of course, some lesser portion of your import duty will be paid back to you. So now, first of all, there are some items no duty drawback for the below. That means that even if you use it even for one day, in such a case no duty drawback will be given. Which are these items? Your wearing apparel means whatever clothes you wear, your shirt, jeans, t-shirt, etc. If they are used, we will not allow you any duty drawback. So if you import, pay the duty, use them, and now you want to export it back, no, you will not get your duty drawback. Any tea chest, exposed cinematographic film. Exposed cinematographic film means those ones in your reels, they have already been exposed. That means they have already been converted. Unexposed photographic films, paper and plates, X-ray film, all of this, nothing is allowed. So if you have already used them, you will not get any import duty. We will not remit it back to you. However, if the goods were imported for personal use, so next, if your goods imported for personal use, so you had originally imported them for your personal use, or second is motor vehicle. That means motor vehicle can be any personal use or commercial use, does not matter. So any goods imported for personal use and your motor vehicle. So in such a case, anti-dumping safeguard and countervailing duty will also be eligible. That means all of these duty that if you had paid earlier also, this also will be refunded back to you. Your duty drawback after 2 years allowed only if your CBIC extends. That means it is only allowed for a period up to 2 years. More than 2 years only if your CBIC allows. No duty drawback if it is used for more than 4 years. So if it is used for more than 4 years, we will not allow you any duty drawback. So now how are they allowing you the duty drawback? Import duty paid. Whatever import duty you had paid, you start with that. Then you subtract 4% per quarter for the first year. So if you use it for the entire first year, 16% will be subtracted. Why? Because 4% per quarter for the first year. So this rate reduces. 4, 3, 2.5 and 2%. 4, 3, 2.5, 2, 4, 3, 2.5 and 2. Okay. So this is till the fourth year. And After subtracting all of this, you will see that how much duty drawback will be allowed to you after 4 years. So it is not allowed only, and even after 2 years, it is only allowed if your CBIC extended. Okay. Otherwise, your workings will usually be only this part. Next is for all other goods. So we did that for some goods it is not allowed at all. For some personal use, goods imported for personal use and motor vehicle, this calculation we did 4, 3, 2.5 and 2 per quarter for the first year, second year, third year and fourth year. This you have to subtract and then you will get your duty drawback amount. Next is for all other goods. For all other goods, your maximum period is your 18 months. So you can use it for a maximum period of 18 months. After 18 months, we will not give you anything. Okay. So from till if it is from 0 to 3 months, 95% of your duty drawback will be given. Okay. 95% of your duty will be given back to you. Therefore, it is called duty drawback. So 95%, if it is more than 3 months, okay, if it is more than 3 months up to 6 months, in such a case, 85% will be given. More than 6 months up to 9 months, 75%. 9 to 12, 70%. 12 to 15 is your 65%, and 15 to 18 is your 60%. Okay. So how do you see? Falls by 10, falls by 10, then falls by 5, falls by 5, falls by 5. Okay. So it reduces by 10 3 times. 95, 85, 75, then it reduces by 5 3 times, that is 70, 65 and 60. After that, it is nil, that is nothing will be given back to you. Claim for drawback to be filed within 3 months from the date of your export order. You have to file a claim. They will not give it on their own. You have to file a claim. Okay. And if you want to extend this period, so your authority, if you want to extend it for more than 3 months, if you want to export, because they have only given you a period of 3 months. So if you're not able to do it within 3 months, if you want another extra 3 months, then you need authority approval, that is your ACDC, and fees will be 1% of your FOB, that is your free on board, or rupees 1000, whichever is lower. 1% of FOB or 1000, whichever is lower. However, if this instead of 3 months, you want to extend it for a further 6 months, you have to take authority's approval, that is your PC or your C. Extension period is 6 months. This we've already done, and your fees will be double, that is 2% of FOB or 2000, whichever is lower. Okay. So 1% of FOB or 1000, whichever is lower, and 2% of FOB or 2000, whichever is lower. Next is your drawback on imported material used in manufacture of export goods. So what are they saying? Section 75 says we will get a drawback on imported material used in manufacture of export goods. So that means if any goods you are exporting, for that goods you purchased some material, you imported some material and you paid duty, in such a case we will give you drawback. Now there are 3 rules. One is your rule 3, one is your rule 6, and one is your rule 7 that you have to keep in mind. Now your rule 3 is an all industry drawback rate. That means that is your general fixed standard rate. So drawback rate fixed for standard products on basis of share of imports in total consumption of imports. So it has already been specified that was, say for example, you are exporting this pen. So now 30% of your pen's cost, I can understand, comes from the refill that you use. So 30% fixed, your import duty will be refunded back to you. That is your, this is already standard set. It is your all industry. Rule 6 is your brand rate of your duty drawback. Now what does this say? Drawback for special products once application has been made to your PC or C with the details of inputs, etc. So you give them all the details that, boss, my brand is different. I am Parker. It is not 30%, it is much more. So it is for a brand specific. So you enter into a different agreement with them. You show them your document that, boss, it is not the rate that you had mentioned in rule 3. It is very much different. And rule 7 talks about special brand rate of duty drawback. So rule 6 talks about brand rate. Rule 7 talks about special brand rate. So if your all India rate, that is your rule 3, if it is less than 80% of the duty actually paid, if that is less than 80% of the duty actually paid, that means if the standard that they have set, if they say that, boss, you are only eligible say for rupees 30 rupees, and as per your calculation, that comes to say rupees 50. So now 50 into 80%, how much is that? That is your 40%. So that means minimum 40%. Since this 30% does not come under the limit of 40%, in such a case, you can apply for fixation of special brand rate within 3 months from export. So you tell them, boss, my brand is different. And this 30% is less. This 30 rupees that you are giving me as drawback, this is less than 80% of what is as per my calculation. Only then you are allowed to come under rule 7. If instead of 30 they had given 43, and as per your calculation it is 50, then you cannot come under rule 7, because they say that, boss, it is within the 80% limit. Please follow rule 3. We will not do it separately for you. You are within the 80% criteria. Now there are certain conditions for drawback. There are certain conditions for drawback, that is no drawback under rule 74 and 75. What is your 74 and 75? This is your 74, as it is 74 after using, and 75, that is where your imported goods are used in export. So in such a case, your market price of goods, if it is less than the amount of drawback, it will not be allowed. If your market price of the goods that you are exporting, if that is less than even the amount of drawback, no drawback will be allowed. And next is your drawback amount is less than rupees 50. They're like, hey, it's only 50 rupees, don't trouble us, then no drawback will be given. Next is minimum value addition, that is for your 75. So now both of these are only for 75, that is this one that we did. Okay, so minimum value addition, no duty drawback if value of imported material, if the value of imported material is greater than the value of exported material. That means you imported a material, say whose market value was 100 rupees. You used it in some process, you used it for to make some goods that you're going to export. And this good that you're exporting outside India, this value is less than 100 rupees. In such a case, what value addition did you do? You did not do any value addition. So no duty drawback no duty drawback if value of imported material is more than the value of exported goods. Boss, what did you do? You put so much process into it. What are you doing? Okay. Next, export proceeds to be realized as per your FEMA guidelines. And last is your upper limit for 75, same, that is 1/3 of market price of export. That is 1/3 of the market price of the export. That is the maximum duty drawback that you will be getting. Okay. So these three conditions you have to specifically remember. And last is your specified cases not allowed. That is in certain specified cases drawback will not be given. Goods used as packaging material for export of blended tea, except your teacher. That means for teachers it will be given. Goods made solely out of duty-free imports, of course, you will not be given. Next is jute batching oil, packaging material used in manufacturing of jute, yarn, twist, etc. No duty drawback will be given in such a case. And coming to your last part of this chapter, last part of your chapter is recovery of amount of drawback when export proceeds are not realized. That means what happened? You you exported some good, we gave you drawback. Now you exported the goods, of course you have to recover the money from abroad. So you will be getting foreign currency in India. So recovery of amount of drawback when export proceeds are not realized. So you sold the good but you're not able to realize the money. You are not able to get the money from the seller. In such a case, what do they do? The drawback that we had given you, that also we will reverse, we will recover. So when drawback paid to claimant but sale proceeds on export not realized within the FEMA time limit, in such a case ACDC to issue notice to exporter to realize the proceeds within 30 days of receipt of notice. So what do they say? That we are giving you extra 30 days, you recover it or it will not be good for you. If exporter does not produce evidence of realization, your ACDC will pass order to repay drawback within 30 days. That means this drawback that we had given you, because you are not even able to get your money from outside India, this drawback that we had given you, we also don't want to give you, you give us this money back. If exporter realizes the amount later, that means if after paying this drawback back, if after paying it back, if later he realizes the money and provides evidence within 3 months of realization, duty drawback to be repaid to him. So first of all, we paid him duty, then we asked him for refund, then he showed that, boss, later I got the money. So then again you give it back to him. Now, last part of this chapter is your interest on drawback. So if the drawback is payable to a claimant, so it can be two ways. Either drawback is payable to a claimant or excess drawback has been paid to the claimant. So when drawback is payable to a claimant, of course your interest rate will be lower because the CBDT is the one who is paying the duty. So in such a case, this interest rate is only 6%, while the same thing other way around, that is if they have paid, if they had paid excess duty, this will be 15%. That means the claimant has to pay 15% while they will only pay 6%. From date after expiry of 1 month, that means another 1 month also has been given to them. Date after expiry of 1 month till the date of payment. However, when it is the other way around, it is the date of payment to claimant. That is the date that when we paid you extra, from that day interest will be chargeable, 6% and 15%. Date of recovery from claimant, till the date the claimant actually pays this amount back, till that time we will charge you 15% per annum. And with this, we are done with this chapter. Shouldn't be a very difficult chapter after watching this video. And now we are only left with two chapters, that is your refund and your FTP.